Play at Novibet.
Hello and thanks for tuning into the video on irishracing.com. We're wrapping up day 3 of the Cheltenham Festival, and this video is in association with Novibet. I'm delighted to be joined by Mark Enright to review the third day of the festival. Mark, you were in Cheltenham yesterday, I think. How are you finding the week so far?
Yeah, good. Yeah, I went there yesterday. It was a bit of sport. I thought compared to other years, I suppose it was a little bit quieter than normal, but there was a few of us there. We had a bit of sport, but yeah, I was a bit disappointed with the buzz there yesterday. Now, I didn't think it was the atmosphere was as great as it has been in years gone by. So yeah, I was a little bit disappointed, but we had a good day all the same.
Yeah, I suppose the Irish were well on top at that stage, but they're pulling us back a small bit now. I think 5 winners on the board today. I suppose good to see him getting a few up there. And I suppose they started off from the Turners' first race of the day. Facile Vega was a massive disappointment here for Willie Mullins, but great dawning. In fairness to the Skeletons, are having a massive week, and I thought it was a great ride from Harry as well.
It was a brilliant ride, and yeah, as you said, they're having a fantastic week. Facile Vega, yeah, I mean to me, I seen him win the maiden hurdle last year or whenever it was, and I thought this is the best horse I've ever seen. He covered more ground than I'd ever seen, but he's just been disappointing. Like, he was very disappointing in Leopardstown, and I didn't fancy him at all today. And I actually did fancy Grey Dawning a little bit. And obviously with Skeletons having a great week, he jumps for fun. Harry gave him a great ride, and yeah, I mean, it was a great race to watch, but disappointing race for the Irish. Obviously, I think the Brits had the first 3 home in the race, and it was a bit of a shock to the system, I suppose, after looking at Willie yesterday filling 1, 2, 3, 4 in all these places in races. And yeah, I suppose it was a little bit of a shock to the system, but nice to see the Brits have get their handle on things as well. And nice to see them perform a little bit. And I suppose everyone was kind of saying the last couple of days, what's wrong with the British horses? Why aren't they running well? Is there something wrong with them all? And there was flu vax mentioned, that was it a bad batch and whatever else. But no, I mean, you have all these conspiracy theorists then as well, and they're creating these stories. But no, it was good to see them have a bit of luck today, I suppose.
Yeah, Paul Nicholls got the next one on the board then. I think his horse had been disappointing until then, but nice to see him get one up there as well. And Protectorat then went on for the Skeletons to win one of the big ones on the day, the Ryanair Chase. I think a double for Alex Ferguson. I think he's involved with that horse as well. But Skeletons' horse is on fire, and they're really dominating the handicaps in particular, aren't they, the English? Are they getting more of a chance, do you think, than the Irish horses?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even if you look at some of the races later on, like in the grade ones and the Mayor's Novice and stuff, like they won the Mayor's Novice, and like she was rated 124, way behind everything else. So I mean, the ratings, I think they're a little bit ahead on ratings, the English. But it was good to see Alex Ferguson. I think these things are very good for racing. When you see the likes of Alex Ferguson and these people having winners, it draws in the outsiders, a little bit more, and maybe the football fans and whatever else, and as well as Harry Redknapp having the winner. It's definitely good for racing to see those people having winners. And I mean, in racing, we're all about getting people into race, and I suppose we're struggling in that in some areas. But it definitely, to see these lads having winners is brilliant, and like that Protectorate, I mean, it was a good shout. They could have ran him in the Gold Cup and had another go. I think he finished 5th in it last year, but Bowl called by Dan Skelton, said we'll have a go at the Ryanair and see what happens. There's no point being bridesmaid or running around for prize money in the Gold Cup when you have a chance in a race. And again, it was a great ride by Harry Skelton. I thought Rachel was brilliant on Envoy Allen. I thought she was absolutely brilliant. She jumped off out wide, and she let the race develop and got into a lovely position, gave him a lovely patient ride, and he just wasn't good enough. So we've nothing to complain about there really with the Irish horses. But no, again, a very good ride by Harry Skelton, and Dan Skelton and Harry Skelton. They're having an unbelievable week, aren't they?
Yeah, they can't do much wrong at the moment. I think it's only 2 behind Willie on the leaderboard. Like, thinking about that yesterday, it was kind of hard to see it happening. But like you said, Rachel was very good in MYL. I think she said probably looked like she was holding on to a bit more than she actually had coming down to the last. But big one by him again. He's kind of a bit of a legend of the festival at this stage. But Gordon finally got one on the board. Then next in the stairs hurl, I suppose look just best horse in the race. Unlucky maybe not to do it last year, but no doubts about it now. And it looks like it was the right decision as well to put him away for this one.
Absolutely. I mean, a great call after winning in Fairyhouse to put him away for that long. And I mean, all these, looking at his form, all his best runs are when he's fresh. And, you know, to make the call to say we're putting him away and we're not going to run him till the stairs hurdle, you know, so far away was a very bold call. And, you know, it paid off today. Again, great ride by Jack. I mean, he's cool as cucumber, isn't he? He was absolutely brilliant on him. And I mean, they had gone slow, and there was a little bit of a worry: is this going to turn into a sprint? But by far the best horse in the race, and you know, I suppose running against some of the older horses as well now, Florin Porter and Paisley Park, and these horses. Obviously, Paisley Park was retired after the race today, so it was no, it was great. Great to see Gordon get a winner on the board. You know, he's brought a massive team over, and you know, been bridesmaid to Willie and so many occasions during the week, and you know his horses are running very well, so it was very good to see him get a winner on the board.
Yeah, you'd imagine it was kind of a high pressure one as well. Like his horses were running well all week, but this was probably the first big one he had with a big chance. So I mean, even for Jack, like that was kind of a pressure ride for him going out, but he was really cool on him, wasn't he?
Absolutely, he was brilliant on him. But sure, Jack he's as laid back, you know, he's very cool. He takes, you know, he takes everything on, and just nothing seems to really phase him. So it was great. And I mean, it was good to see a favourite win. I thought he was probably a banker of the meeting, really, and it was great to see a horse win like that was so highly fancied and sought after, like to go off odds against, which is, yeah. I mean, we're looking at all these odds on favourites of Willie's during the week, which is, I mean, it kind of takes away from it. Like yesterday, all these odds on shots winning and stuff for Willie's, and it kind of takes away. The punter can't really have a bet as such. So I just thought today it was nice to see that. It was nice to see what I thought was a banker win at odds against, really.
Yeah, he was definitely more backable favourite than one of the ones we've seen so far. And definitely, you know, it was kind of his race to throw away a bit, I suppose. But a disappointment then for Gordon in the next the Mayor's Novice Hurdle. I suppose the race just probably wasn't one to suit. They went very slow, and it kind of suited the flat mare who came out and topped the Jeremy Scotch trained Golden Ace.
Yeah, it did. And I mean, as I said, a long way behind on ratings, but yeah, they went very, very steady. And I mean, Jack, he never really looked happy. She was kind of lugging in early on in the race, and then she got a bit keen on him, and they just went too slow, and you know it turned into a bit of a sprint. But I mean, in the end, she was beaten fair and square. But it was disappointing. I suppose coming here, Gordon would have thought it was definitely a winner on the board for him. It didn't work out. But look at that. That's what happens, and on that ground. I mean, if Jack went on and made the run, and you could say, why didn't he go on and make the run? But if he goes on and makes the run and then gets beat, he looks very stupid, really. So it was, I mean, you have to ride the races as they come, and it didn't work out today, but I'm sure she'll have other days, and I think she's a filly with a big, big future.
Yeah, you'd imagine herself and maybe even Jada Grugia are probably the ones to take from that race towards next year, but it just didn't work out in the day. I suppose kind of, look, it's very, very easy for us to say sitting here that he should have gone on, but yeah, I'd say she's probably the one to take out of the race. And onto the next race then, I thought it was just a brilliant ride. Derek O'Connor again. He did it in Corbett's Cross, and he did it again, and I know the way you're thinking, like too awkward enough rides, but he just made them look so simple. Came there cruising over the last fence and just ran away with the Kinmure.
He's absolutely brilliant. I mean, he lined up handy down the end or down to the first, and you think he's going to make plenty use of this horse, and goes down, makes a bad mistake at the first, and he just has to swallow the pill he's been given then, you know. And what a beautiful ride. I mean, he's just let him lob away, let him get into a rhythm, got him. I mean, he was still not great at a couple of fences, but he's got him into a great rhythm of jumping afterwards. And I mean, to come there down the hill with a double handful, I mean, it was a beautiful ride. Most lads probably would have panicked and after the first and tried to get him back up there, and I mean they ran the race there and then. But I mean, he's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. And I suppose how many more years of him are we going to get with Derek? You know, he's not getting any younger. But I mean, he's only amateur by name. You know, his license says he's an amateur, but he's not an amateur really. I mean, he's as good as I've ever seen to ride over a fence, and you know he does a lot of coaching now as well with with young lads schooling over fences, and I actually done a lesson with him when I started out. I asked him, I said, will you teach me how to ride over a fence, when I first started riding over jumps? And I tried other lads, I tried with Davy Russell and stuff, and they were getting frustrated with me, but he's just he's so calm and he's so cool, and you know, he can actually speak what he's thinking, if that makes sense, where more lads aren't able to do that. And he's well and truly class, you know, and he's brilliant to watch. For me, he's the best rider I've ever seen over a fence, and I don't say that lightly. You know, he is very, very good, and we've seen him with 2 winners in Cheltenham, and both the same thing. I mean, Corvus Cross the other day went around keen with him as well, coming back after a fall or a mishap, you call it, I suppose. And you know, to ride them horse with so much confidence, he's different gravy, really.
Yeah, definitely. And like, even though they were both favourites, like they were definitely both difficult enough rides, but he just made them look so simple. Yeah, and he's just brilliant. He could go on and have the treble for JP tomorrow as well. It's on the line in the 100 chase, another big one for him tomorrow. But Mark, thanks very much for having you for coming on with me today. Sorry, and we'll be back again tomorrow to review the Friday action at Cheltenham. But if you're going to have a bet tomorrow, there's some offers from our sponsor Novice to pick up some free bets for Gold Cup Day at Cheltenham. But I'll be back again tomorrow with Mark again to review the day's action. And Mark, thanks very much for coming on and chat tomorrow.
Thanks a million.
Play at Novice.